At this time of year, the weed can be really dominant in a lot of lakes. So what I'm going to do is show you my top tips on how to combat it. So tip number one, before you even leave the house, you need to make sure you've got the correct equipment. Having strong rods, strong line, decent sized hooks and strong reliable hooks is essential. You imagine if you've got a fish on and you're towing around a big ball of this stuff, you really need something that's up to the job to take the strain to land the fish safely. So tip number two, I like to find the lower lying weed, and normally it's pointed out by the clearings and the gaps within the weed out in the pond. To start with, I get a leading rod out, I have a little bit of a flick around, and normally you're not going to get a full clean bottom. You're going to find there's still some lower lying weed amongst it. So then what I do is I tie on a small castable weed rake and then rake the spots off and clean off that little bit of weed just to make the rigs a little bit more presentable. So we found the spots, we've prepared them, which rolls into tip number three, which is my bait application. I'm now going to show you what I put in that mix. So to start with, I want to add some really small items. So 2mm trigger pellets are absolutely perfect for this. We don't only want to feed the carp, but we want to feed all the silvers as well, because the more fish we can get turning over that spot, the cleaner it'll become and the easier it is to present rigs. Right, let's get a few of them in there. Staying with the pellet theme, I also like to add 4mm and 8mm pellets in there as well. So that's the pellets in. I'm going to move on to the boilies, sticking with the trigger theme. I'm going to start off with adding a handful of the 12mm trigger. Again, I'm using shelf life boilies at the minute. The only difference with the shelf life boilies and the freezer baits in the current era at Nutrabaits is that we use a human grade preservative which goes into the shelf life boilies. They're just as good quality as the freezer baits, so if you're not on them, it saves you stowing them. You can keep them in your van and they last for ages. And we come with a perfectly sealable bag as well. Right, let's get a handful of them in there. A couple of handfuls. As mentioned, because there's still going to be strands of weed out there, I also want to put in some halves. So I just take out some 18mm trigger. I'm just going to put them into my chopper. I'm going to do some halved 18mm in the mix as well. This will mean as well that if the smaller fish do come in and start taking the pellets, we're going to have some bigger items remaining on the spot, ready for when the carp move in. Next up, no mix would be complete without boilie crumb. Carp absolutely love it. It keeps them rooting there for ages. So let's get some of that in. And I'm actually going to use the Test Bait 2025, which is in the making, and you'll see that coming very soon. Just apply some of that to my corder crusher. Give it a little spin. Just a small amount, just to mix in with the pellets. So that's the base mix complete. I'm now going to add some liquid additives. Liquid number one is the trigger food. This is a lot thicker in consistency and really grips a bait. It's got lots of food signals coming off it. It's a great food ingredient for the fish. Liquid number two is a trigger activator. As I mentioned, it's a little bit thinner in consistency and it'll really bite into the bait. And last but not least, a lot of people's favourite, the Total Hemp Oil. It's a great additive, and also it will give you a big slick on your spot if the fish start getting amongst it. Right, we're now just going to give this a good mix up, and I'll show you what it looks like. And that is the mix complete. All that's left to do now is get it on your spot. that completes my top tips for fishing in weed. Get yourselves out there, have a go at it, remember to fish safe, and the rewards are there to be had.